Welcome back to the Dragon Hatchery, the series where I let fate and luck and the goddess Timora decide what type of dragon egg geode you are taking home. Today is Sarah's turn. I have 12 pre-created geodes ready to go. We are going to roll to see which one Sarah is going to be ending up with. And today I am rolling this absolutely incredible set from Siren's Grotto. That is a 9. Sarah, you're getting this beautiful blue friend. All right, Sarah, what scale color is your beautiful blue dragon egg geode gonna get? 12. That is Azure Magic. I can't even remember what color that is. Maybe purple? All right, and the number color, 17. Going with black. Bottom layer, D4. What's the bottom layer going to be? 4, Angelica Film. What color Angelica Film are we going with? Green. This one's kind of all over the place. I am here for it. Mylar color. That is an 11, Disastrous Nachos. It's like a pinky orange. Glitter is 5. That's the Joker. Final touch. What's your final touch going to be? Stars. All right, Sarah, let's go make your geode. The first step in creating Sarah's random dragon egg mystery dice is to add some UV resin to the part of the blank that had been carved out. Because her first layer was Angelina film, I had to use UV resin to tack a piece of it down. This is a kind of precarious process, and it takes longer than any other bottom layer that I could have possibly rolled. While it's annoying to get it to stay on the blank and then to trim it to size, which I actually use a lighter, I do have to say that it's totally worth it in the end. This result is always so spectacular, even if it takes quite a bit longer to accomplish than any of the other possible bottom layers. You see me here just kind of shoving it down on any of the places where the UV resin didn't stick perfectly, and also trying to make sure that there's no ash marks from the lighter. After that was settled and secure, it was time to add the Mylar we rolled. This color is called Disastrous Nachos, and it's like a pinky orange, and it's such a wild card with everything else we rolled on this dice for Sarah. At this point, I had no idea how this dice was going to turn out. So far, all of the random dragon egg geodes I've made have ended up being really stunning, but I gotta admit, this one's weird. The glitter that we added to this was also very colorful. It was like a purple and green. And then to top that all off, we had this little star glitter that gets added as the final touch. I try to make sure that there's a couple so you can see them from every direction. And then of course there was an extra void in this blank, so we had to make sure that was filled in as well. I made sure I gently added a star to a couple different places before mixing up some teal mica powder. When I inked the scales on this insert, I forgot to use paint to sort of carve around the opening. So it's just as easy to do this with UV resin and mica powder. In fact, I actually really like that method. So maybe I sort of did it intentionally. Here you see I'm just filling in that little void I was telling you about. When I get voids on my dragon egg geode blanks, I don't fill them with resin trying to match what I originally had. Instead, I fill them with whatever materials are in the main part of the geode, and it's just kind of like a little bonus geode. And you'll see at the reveal, it's actually really stunning in this dice. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil anymore. When it's time to actually cast the blank, I mix up my resin as usual. I use a 2-to-1 ratio resin, so that means I do 2 parts resin and 1 part hardener. If you're curious, I mix for about 4 minutes. After the resin is ready, I always give the blank a little bit of a bath. This helps prevent massive bubbles just by making sure the dice blank is completely coated. It also is what allows this process to be such a gigantic mess. As you can see, there's now resin everywhere. Once the dice blank is properly oriented in the mold, I always add a little bit more resin, and then you see me here sort of squeezing on the outside of the mold. I'm trying to release air bubbles and make sure that there is enough resin inside the mold, and in this case, there actually wasn't. You could see through the little hole from the extra void in the geode that it still was not completely full, so I'm just kind of doing everything I can to make sure this is completely filled up. I'm okay with voids when I cast the blanks, but we do not want any voids now that I have spent so much time and energy on this dragon egg geode insert. So if it seems like I am being overly cautious, it's probably because I am. I use the lighter multiple times to pop additional air bubbles that come to the surface, and then finally cap the mold when I am confident there is enough resin in it. Now it is time for the demold. This is the next day. Usually my resin cures in about 8 to 15 hours, but it's not uncommon for me to give it a full 24 before I actually demold. The minute I took the lid off, I could tell that there were no major voids. The only other really big issue to watch out for is if the blank had not been oriented properly, and sometimes I can't tell until it's out of the mold. But in this case, it was perfect. The only sort of minor issue is that the D20 logo spot was not on top of the geode area, which is something I always try to do, but it's never a guarantee. What I want to talk about now is how incredibly stunning this die came out. When I first rolled this one with the nacho cheese colored mylar and the green and purple glitter with the blue base, I was not sure what to expect, but this dice went ahead and just looked like it's an entire galaxy. I cannot believe how cool it looked when you look into that geode part. It really is just like a swirling vortex of galaxy, and the fact that we ended up rolling stars for the final touch was just so appropriate. Of course, now it is time to ink this beautiful die, and we had rolled black, which really just sort of adds to the whole galaxy vibe of this geode. I am inking this a lot more neatly than I normally do because I knew I was recording it. I have to be honest, normally I just slap paint on my dice and wipe it all off and make a gigantic mess, but I actually only did a few sides at once this time, trying to be a little bit neater for filming. I say trying to be because I did still end up with ink absolutely everywhere, but at least you can sort of get a better idea of the process of inking these dice. This is it, all finished up. The only step that we have to do after I've added the ink is I do spray the dice down with a diluted solution of LA Awesome just to wipe off any of the remaining ink, and I do wait to do that until the dice has completely dried. Here is the glamour shot out in the sun, and this beautiful dice is ready to go off to its home. Thank you so much, Sara. This is always so much fun for me. If you all enjoyed this video, please click like. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel and leave me a comment in the comment box below and tell me what your favorite color combination is. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.